Alright, what is up YouTube? HPJ here, and normally I would be giving you guys this video via the actual website, but my phone is acting very weird. So I'll be doing it via picture due to the fact that my phone kind of sucks. So we have the new TCG Forbidden Limited list. I will send you guys a link to it in the description box below. But there is a lot to talk about with this new list, and I know a lot of people are very excited. Some people are unhappy. It's a lot of mixed emotions every time a ban list comes out for the TCG. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first cards to be forbidden are the Guard Dragon Aprapane and Nightmare Mermaid. For the newly limited, we have Sky Striker Mech Widow Anchor. Then for the newly semi-limited, we have Dark Iron Dragon. And then for the newly unlimited, we have Super Rejuvenation, El Shaddai Construct, Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End, Destiny Hero Malicious, Ether, the Heavenly Monarch, Elemental Hero Stratos, Insector Dragonfly, Shriek, the Strategist of Necros, and Royal Tribute. So these are all of the cards that have been changed on the TCG Forbidden Limited list. This list will last till January 13th, 2020. So do be expecting to see a list then. Now this list did actually just really showed up as fast as it did. I did not expect the list right before the 14th. I think a lot of us expected it to be after the 14th because, well, Konami's track record. But we need to talk about this. So the first thing is, of course, we have to talk about the Guard Dragon Argra Pain. For my understanding, this is kind of one of the things that's been doing the whole Guard Dragon uh, scenario shenanigans. And it's crazy enough to see that it got hit. I was not expecting one Guard Dragon to get hit. I honestly expected all of them to get hit. But with the new stuff coming out for, in Mystic Forces, and the fact that we'll get the um, reprints of Super Rejuvenation and then the TCG release of the Dragon Maids, I think that's part of the reason why this deck got hit. But obviously, the whole strategy behind it is one powerful strategy. I'm not even gonna lie. I've seen Guard Dragon, Orcos do crazy things. I've seen Guard Dragon plus insert random dragon deck here do things. And it was only a matter of time before the Guard Dragon stuff got hit. It was just a matter of time of when and what was going to get hit. Most people were saying they were probably going to get limited. But then the thing is, they're already ran at one. So what was the point of limiting them? It's not like most people were running multiples of them. And then Agrapane gets Agrapane gets hit. I don't know how to really pronounce this monster's name, but Pain got hit. And I think Pain was more so of the cause than he was the effect of the situation, but he was overall part of the problem. The Nightmare Mermaid was something I think the TCG has been screaming, why isn't she hit? And I'm still questioning what did she do, but I heard she was doing things that you kind of weren't wanting her to be doing. Kind of the same situation about Nightmare Goblin, where Nightmare Goblin was doing a lot of things, and you see how he ended up on the forbidden list. So to see two more linked monsters get hit means that, there's two less linked monsters to have to deal with than there was any. And like personally, I never had to run into these things, so maybe it's a good thing that I didn't run into them. But yeah, I heard they did things, and it wasn't too many things that were too pretty if you were on the receiving end. So now we move on to the limited section of the Forbidden Limited list, and it is the Widow Anchor. So the thing about Sky Striker is that Sky Striker is a very powerful deck. It is a very strong deck. The thing about Widow Anchor getting hit is that Widow Anchor, in my opinion, wasn't the problem, but it kind of wasn't the solution either. And when you look at it from that turn point of, okay, what was the issue with Sky Strikers? Sky Strikers still have Mobilize Engage. Sky Strikers still have Ray. They still have Kagari. So you start picking the pieces away. You hit Hornet Drone. You hit Multi-Roll. So now it's time to hit the combination of both a Brain Control and a Effect Veiler in one Quick Play spell. And the thing about it was that Widow Anchor is still a really good card, even at this one hit. It's just now what other cards do you put into Widow Anchor's place in order to fit in? Like, you can still use stuff like Brain Control, even though it's very, very neutered. And then you have, what is the spell card? Mind Control, which still is viable in the game, despite the fact that a lot of people still don't see it coming all the time. It's still a really powerful spell. And not to mention, you can just recycle Widow Anchor, because you have enough cards to help recycle it. You have Hercules base, you have Kagari. You can recycle Kagari with Hercules bases and still benefit from the Widow Anchor, because you can still search for it. You can send it to the graveyard and then retrieve it and still benefit from the one anchor. It's just how will you play Sky Strikers, just, with the just one anchor. So we move on from anchor and we talk about everybody's favorite father of the game. We talk about God. Dude, why does it? Okay, my phone is just being crazy right now. Okay, there we go. We talk about Dark Arm Dragon. So, Dark Arm Dragon has been at one here in the TCG for a long period of time. The thing about Dark Arm Dragon is that he is still a standalone boss monster for dark attributed decks. I mean, this thing was reigning supreme for a long period of time. I mean, let's talk about Teledad. Let's talk about Black Wings and Dad. Let's talk about just Dad in general. He is a great monster. He fits into a lot of decks that have a good amount of dark monsters that you can take advantage of. Once you hit that 3, bam, you get Dark Arm Dragon. The thing about Dark Arm Dragon is Dark Arm Dragon is so neutered right now, it's not even funny. He can't be special summoned through other effects, so you have to use something that really drastically summons him to the field. He still requires exactly 3 dark monsters, so your dark deck has to take advantage of both light, dark, or whatever combination of cards it is. And then he does hit for a pretty decent effect, but then you have cards like Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. You have Effect Veiler still. He doesn't have priority behind him. So I think at a point, I think it's just when, okay, Dark Arm is still on the list. Dark Arm, let's see what we can do with him at 2. The OCG had Dark Arm at 2 for a minute. I think Dark Arms was at 3 for even a point, and then he went back to 2. So, I mean, let's just see how flexible Dark Arm is at this double status. I mean, I don't think Dark Arm will really do anything to really change the game up, but I think it'd be nice just to see what Dark Arm can do at this current point. So now we move on to the unlimited list. And I think one of the biggest shocks is Super Rejuvenation being unbanned. So, if you're not familiar with Super Rejuvenation, actually, I do have a copy of Super Rejuvenation because I got to move that out the binder to put in the Jar Dragon Pain. But Super Rejuvenation was pretty much a big draw card for Dragon attributed deck, Dragon type focused decks. It is a quick play spell card. Hold on 1 second. I think I have, here's my Super Rejuvenation. So it says, during the end phase of the turn, this card is activated. You draw 1 card for each dragon monster that was discarded from your hand and or offered as tribute this turn. So the crazy thing about this card is that you use this card in combinations with dragon decks. And there's a ton of dragon decks that actually can benefit from the effects of Super Rejuvenation. I think one of the biggest ones is any variation of Guard Dragon that's still around. The variations of dragons that will be played when the Dragon Maids come out. And the overall fact that this card is one of the many cards being selected for its lost artwork, which it isn't really much of a lost artwork. It's just the cave dragon that's on the picture having its skin ripped off. And then I think it's going to be a hollow anyway. So it's kind of just like, okay. Like, I don't really see the whole big purpose of hitting Super Rejuvenation when, like, I don't know. I don't get the purpose of like super rejuvenation now. I think before when it did get hit, oh boy, the big issue behind super rejuvenation getting hit was literally because of the one archetype that took advantage of it, and that literally was um, dragon rulers that took advantage of that archetype, and for a good period of time too. Because if people remember, that was when all that dragon stuff was legal. You had multiple dragon cards. You have card destruction, you have hand destruction, you had the effects of blaster, you had the effects of tidal, redox, tempest. Like that deck had so many different ways of discarding. It wasn't even funny. You can look at heretic dragons now. You still have a full function guard dragon setup, just you don't have pain. However, the other two still are viable. You have, I think some of the Orcos are dragons, if I'm not mistaken. So you still have those guys popping around. I don't think Super Rejuvenation was a good idea, but I don't know if it was a bad idea. And I don't know. I'm still questioning a lot of the purpose of Super Rejuvenation coming back to the game. Maybe there's a unseen force to it. Maybe I don't know. I'm like on the fence with Super Rejuvenation, but it's back in Act 3 too. So, El Shaddai Construct. Now, this is a card I was figuring was going to get unlimited sooner or later. Well, she skipped the semi-limited and just went straight to unlimited status. The thing about this is that I think a lot of people are looking at Shaddai because Shaddai won the OCG's Structure Deck contest. Shadal's boss monster is now playable again in multiples because she is El Shadal construct. I don't think she will be much of a big turn in the metagame because Shadals have not been much of a big turn in the metagame for since she got unbanned. And the crazy thing about it is the only way Shadals could be a game changer in general is if the new support in the structure deck comes at full force and comes where it can make Shadal's meta again. Otherwise, it'll just be really playable and everybody can just cop up new constructs. And I think she did get reprinted at a point. I forget when she got reprinted. I know she wasn't in Battles of Legends. I think that was mostly everybody else except for Dragon. I think Construct was in a special set before then. Oh, she was in that one set that came out in April, and she got printed there as an Ultra. So yeah, that is nice to see Constructs back. Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End. Due to his errata, he was completely nerfed, and now he's just there. Just another additional beast stick, just like Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. We have all these old Chaos monsters, but once they start getting errated, or once they just, fluctuate through in and out the metagame, I think at that point it's just like, okay, well, they're not doing anything. We did errata it. It's not being used. Let's just put it at 3 anyway. Now, I want to talk about these next two cards in combination because I think a lot of hero players are screaming their asses off right now. We're talking about Destiny Hero Malicious at 3 and Elemental Hero Stratos at 3. It has been literally a decade and then some since Elemental Hero Stratos and Malicious were both off of the Forbidden Limited list simultaneously and at 3. The crazy thing about this is that a lot of the cards that did support the Airblade Turbo deck is either still banned or errated because Demok is actually errated still, because he has to wait to the end phase of the turn to get the spell card. I think Reasoning's at 1. Something else is at 1. There's a lot of cards still at 1, and then just the deck itself isn't fluctual. Now there are, the new support cards for the evil heroes. That could be a reason why Stratos is back at 3 to promote, evil hero Adjust, which is like the evil hero version of Captain Gold. You have evil hero Malicious Bane, which both of those cards are still the highest cards out of that legendary duelist pack. And it's crazy that Malicious and Shadows are both at 3. Now, I don't know how they'll play out in the metagame because, look, Shadows was still at 2, and you didn't really see heroes in. Malicious, I believe, was at 2 to contradict the Stratos at 2. But for the most part, I don't. What is D draw at? I think D draw is at unlimited status. So it's we have all the pieces. It's just, can someone build a hero deck, and can it, be viable through what's going on here in the metagame? Because you still have a decent functioning Sky Striker. Salamangreat has not left. Orcos, Cyber Dragon, Orcos by itself, insert deck plus Orcos can still work. So maybe Heroes, Orcos. It's some ideas. Um, Ether, the Heavenly Monarch, was only hit due to the fact of the Monarch situation, and well, now it's back at 3. So I don't know if Monarchs will be a viable game changer itself, because tribute summons, a lot of things can get rid of tribute summons, and most people, I don't know, like, it's a deck that can be anti-meta if it has, the advantages, but that's the thing, it has to take the advantages of it to be anti-meta. Insector, Dragonfly, Insectors are not really relevant. I'm sorry, it's just they really aren't, and everything can easily block Dragonfly. You have about 6 new hand traps now that you can just laugh at most of these cards, and half of them will kill half of what the Insector archetype tries to do with Hornet and Dragonfly. Shirt is going to be a problem, because now that Netclaws have their strategists back, and I think the monoliths are going to be coming out soon. This is something that I'd be very cautious of, because now they have Shirt, and Shirt was kind of part of that whole crazy shenanigans thing with Netcloth and ritual decks in general. Rituals are really, really good. I know a lot of people sleep on ritual decks, but ritual decks are really good when they're done right. And Netcloth is one of those archetypes that can do it right. So I'd be very cautious about this. Royal Tribute at 3 is kind of just like, okay, well, you had the Gravekeeper support. We don't see the Gravekeepers. And then it's just like, it's here. I don't think Royal Tribute will ever be a factor, because it still needs Jankro Valley. And most of the time at that point, if anyone's running field spells, they're trying to just counteract other field spells. Because remember, those field spells can lay on the field. I think in the forest, the only real deck Necklace can hurt with enough ease is probably Salamangreat. But then, well, that's getting Phoenix in a few days. In about a week and a half, they're gonna get Phoenix, and everything will be legal for. Will everything be legal for London? Because London is the next event of YCS, I believe, and maybe we'll see some Gravekeeper now that Tribute's at 3. I definitely know we'll see Netcloth. We'll see some variations of dragons. We'll probably see a 1 or 2 heroes. We'll probably see heroes. But it all really just depends on how the aspect of it is how strong can a lot of these cards be in their decks at the current status right now, with a lot of the other things just being either really fast or really more constructed, pun intended, to pretty much give that player their win. Like, can a player be strategic enough with their archetype or with the specific deck and then build on that? So there's a lot to really just think about when it comes to the ban list and just a lot of the choices here. But I honestly think, in my opinion, it didn't hurt anything. It just gave stuff more support, which is kind of a good thing. I think a lot of people will still be playing Sky Striker, especially because we just got her new monster, Rose, because that's what they're calling her, Rose. And I'll talk about Rose in another video, because that video will be up soon. But I mean, this is a list I'm not upset about. I'm not too happy about it, but I'm not too upset about it. And I really, really want to see what can come out of it. And we still got 3 months, so I'm still waiting to see what's going on. The other thing is, I'm surprised no Orcos cards got hit. I'm not too surprised that I'm not too surprised that Orcos didn't. No, I'm surprised Orcos didn't get hit. I'm not too surprised the Salamander Great hit where that deck just flew itself off. And I'm really surprised that I didn't see a lot of generic stuff get hit around this time. So maybe in January, we'll see a lot more stuff get hit due to we are getting Ignition Assault then. So yeah, we'll see what's going on with that. But that is pretty much the end of this video, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the new TCG Forbidden Limited list and all of your ideas about what's going on with it. So thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time. HBJ signing out. Take care.